September 11th, 2017. One of the worst days of my life. That's the day I lost my father, and that is the first day of the biggest transformation I've ever had to go through. I don't think people really understand what grief and depression can do to a person. I'm happy to say that it's almost a year later, and I no longer am depressed. I'm definitely still grieving. I'm going to be grieving for the rest of my life. I don't think people really knows how big of an effect that has on a person. I'm not the same person that I was this time last year. I'm not the same person that I've ever been in my life. Losing a parent definitely is something I wouldn't wish on anybody. You literally lose yourself. I don't care how secure you are, how confident you are, how much you think you know who you are. Living through losing a parent will shake shit up, to say the very least. My father was my best friend. I went to him about everything. I went to him about relationship advice, financial advice, nurturing advice, knowledge, wisdom, everything. He was definitely there for me every step of my life. So to be faced with the reality of never having him again, I didn't know how to deal with that. I became very secluded. I actually feel like I left my family a little bit too early, and I was on my own, and I thought that I had somebody in my support system. I definitely thought that I could just rock it out with that person, and that would be all that I needed, but I needed so much more. I found myself just laying in bed all day. I found myself not reconnecting to with my friends. I had just moved back to Atlanta from being away for 2 years. I didn't go out with my friends. I didn't see my friends. I had friends come visit me in town, and they could literally just see how miserable I was. And I know everybody was very understanding of it, but I also feel like people don't know the psychological effect that some of the words had on me, or some of the actions that were displayed against me had on me. And I say against me because when you're grieving, you're not yourself. I don't care what anybody says. And there's a few things I definitely learned through the situation. I learned that not everybody can love unconditionally. You can't love a person into loving you the right way. All you can do is just continue to love them. And if that person is supposed to be in your life, by you loving them means that you can accept them and their flaws. You can accept them in mood swings. You can accept them through financial crisis. You can accept them through depression, through grief. You never really know how much you love a person until you grieve with them. I will definitely say that. And I feel like you have to be understanding enough to notice that a hurt person, a sad person, sometimes acts out in ways that they don't know that they're acting out in. I mean, there are many things that, looking back on it now, I wish I could have changed. But it's so hard. It's so hard when you're in the situation. For instance, there were days where I would just go to work and come home and lay in the bed. I didn't cook. I didn't take anything out to cook. I didn't maybe clean. And it's just the person can look at that and be like, damn, what are you doing? Are you just gonna mope around? But when you don't even have the will to eat yourself, when you don't even have the will to really do anything, it is so hard to have that motivation to do it. And then on top of that, some people really don't understand how everything intertwines with each other. Like, if I'm an unhappy person or I'm going through pain and you're causing me more pain, that's not going to make me draw myself to you. If anything, that's going to make myself be more secluded. Because when you think about the people that you have in your corner, when you're going through the worst thing that you've ever been through in your life, something that you never knew what your response would be like because you've never had to deal with it, it's kind of messed up when it's like the people that you are the closest to are also hurting you, through friendships, through family, through relationships. I've really just learned that everybody doesn't know how to be empathetic. A lot of people know how to be sympathetic. A lot of people know how they want to be loved. A lot of people know what they want to receive out of a situation, and it's horrible to me that those same people that know everything about those things don't know how to give, don't know how to be there for a person. And not that it's any better time to hurt somebody, but it's like, dang, like, how could you hurt a person knowing what they're really going through? Like, every piece of that hurt is going to be attached to this moment in their life. It's always going to be, how could you do that when I was going through this? Because that's just how you look at it when you're grieving. Like, yeah, the situations might not have anything to do with it. They might not be something that was even meant to happen. But it's just the fact, like, it definitely takes a different type of person to cause somebody pain when they literally, emotionally, physically, mentally are feeling the most pain that they've ever felt. And because of that, this is the switch up. One thing I've definitely learned is, like, when you really love a person, you love a person. Because a person can hurt you, a person can love you correctly, a person can love you incorrectly, a person could never hurt you a day in your life, but you're gonna love them regardless. Like, you really truly are. You learn a lot about a person by what they go through. I've literally had friends and family put me in check, like, dang, Jazz, you pulled away so much. Like, how could we help you if we didn't know you were going through certain things? And it was just like, be there for me. Give me my space and be there for me. And I'm so appreciative of the people that didn't leave me, the people that stood by my side, the people that held me down, because there's so much beauty in that. There's so much beauty in knowing that a person truly, truly will hold you down and really be there for you. Like, I feel like situationally, things shouldn't be ruined. Like, I feel like timing definitely comes into play with a lot of things. I mean, I didn't know that going into a certain situation, I would lose my father. So I didn't know that that situation would be affected by the loss of my father. I didn't know that me stop doing some of the things that I had done before would have my character attached. I didn't realize how much of myself I held back while I was depressed. But I also didn't think that if a person knew me, that would be an end all. But like I said, I definitely appreciate it. Like, I appreciate everything that I've learned this last year. I appreciate every single person that has helped me out. I appreciate every single person that has loved me in any capacity, because it's really what I really needed. Like, it is when you feel like you've lost your whole world, you sometimes gravitate to certain things and you hold on. And even if it's toxic things, like, it's sometimes better to have something than to have nothing when you feel like you've lost everything already. And one thing I will say through all of this, it has definitely taught me how to be more sensitive. It has taught me how to handle my own emotions better. Because it's not right for me to be like, on one hand, like, oh my goodness, I was hurting and people made it worse, because I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact that I hurt some people along the way too. Like, me being hurt kind of blurred my lines of communication with certain people. Me being hurt made me act out in certain type of ways because I took a lot of things personally. I felt like things were being done to me instead of looking at it like shit just happens. Like, some things never probably should have happened, and I definitely probably shouldn't have reacted in some of the ways that I did. But I also feel like it's like, what do you expect? Like, when a person is so broken and a person is so hurt and a person only wants to be lifted up, a person only needs, motivation, inspiration, it's just kind of like you really see who's really for you and who's not. And it's not that it's a bad thing. Everybody don't know how to deal with certain things like this. Some people won't know how to deal with it until they go through it. And it really pains me because in the last few days, as I prepare to be faced with the 1 year anniversary of losing my father, I now have cousins that have just lost a mother and a father. And I feel for them. I really feel for them. I have my mom who just lost a sister and basically a brother. I have aunts that have lost a sister and a brother. And it's just like, I think about my mom, losing your best friend, losing your husband, losing an uncle, losing your sister. And then I think about everything that she's had to go through. And it's just like, people always isolate things, And it's like, no, all of this plays together. Like, all of this plays together. This woman is hurting from X, Y, and Z, and you want to throw A, B, C on it. I think about my cousins now who have to feel what I felt and were amazing at comforting me last year. And it's a scary thing for me because when I go to comfort them, you can literally feel it. Like, I can feel it. Like, it makes me more sad about my dad. It makes me so sad about my aunt, my uncle. It makes me so sad for them because it's just like, I would never, ever, ever want anybody to go through that because I know how hard it's hit me. I know how much I've evolved as a person. And although I definitely look at it now as a blessing, the evolution of who I've become, not necessarily losing my father, it's just like, that shit is hard. It's so hard. You have to get to that point, and everybody won't make it through, and everybody won't make it through with you. And it's just like, another thing that I've really been focused on lately is forgiveness. And not even necessarily forgiveness for others, because I really have a genuine heart, and I feel like already forgiven everybody who I feel like has wronged me in any type of way. I've been more so focused on forgiving myself. Forgiving myself for losing myself to depression. Forgiving myself for pushing my friends away. Forgiving myself for leaving my family. Forgiving myself for dropping the ball in my relationship. Like, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot that I literally had to forgive myself for, even though I feel like some of it is justifiable and I feel like some things can never be forgotten. It's just like, it makes me feel so much better. Like, I have no hate in my heart. Months ago, I did. I have no resentment in my heart. I just really just still have love. Like, love has really carried me through. Like, when I love, I guess I love a lot harder than a lot of other people. And unfortunately, sometimes I don't show it the way people want it to be shown. And it's an adjustment for me. And it's definitely a battle because it's like, I don't always know that I'm not showing it the proper way, because sometimes we just tend to show it the way we want it to be shown to us. Like, I'm a very loyal person. I feel like that shows how much you love a person if you can stay loyal to them. I feel like if you can't be loyal to them, you can't be committed to them, you don't really love them. But that's not right. I've definitely learned now you can be non-committed and really be in love I've learned that you can be loyal and not show appreciation in the right way. What's the point of being loyal to somebody if they don't really know how deep your loyalty is, if they don't really know you appreciate them? Lessons learned. I do wish I could go back and change some things, but I definitely feel like everything happened in the timing it was supposed to happen. Like, I really don't know how I'm just sitting here even talking about everything and not crying.